Good morning, everyone. My phone says 9:07. The computer's only 2 minutes late, 9:02. I think that gap is getting worse. It's the 21st of January, which is a bit hard to believe, actually. Seems like it was only yesterday. It was Christmas in Cape Town. And now we're past, everyone's left St. Helena. I still haven't put the link up to their crowdfunding for the yacht club there in St. Helena, which I'll try and do today. And everyone's in the TRADEWINDS, going gangbusters, which is fantastic. So that's pretty cool. I had trouble downloading or dumping my images in here. I only got 4 in before it went boop. So it doesn't kind of make sense. But that's Michael on his boat in the 21 Transat, which was a lot of fun. 5 of us took off across there, and you can see there, it looks like he's got 2 kick-up rudders, high-tech rudders. They're actually his dagger boards. So they're not linked. He can't turn them. They're fixed, but he can lift them up and down. I think they were off a Hobbycat or something like that. He built the boat in a mad rush at the end. Beautiful build, all that sort of stuff. Forget who's got it now. Someone's got it. Someone bought it, and he's now getting ready for a solo non-stop around the world. He's looking for a class 40. He's been doing lots of performance sailing. He's got his eye on the Vendée Globe. Anyway, that was cool. And then the wrong one here. I go back to there. The other picture. Hang on a sec. I'll go this way. If you haven't seen his film, it's really fantastic. He's got did a 26-minute short film. That's the cover shot for it. It's on YouTube. I think we've got it shared on our channel as well. It's about 26 minutes. It's really good. Very well done. So if you haven't seen it, there's so much stuff there. That was just, I thought this was my favourite shot, was in a little thumbnail, but it wasn't. The one with the legs and the arms sticking out, that was the Spanish building. There's quite a few Spanish boats. Hopefully Pila will stir them up. We haven't, I think we've got one coming in the Transat this year. But the others are laying a bit low. They got all fired up. There was a bunch of them. There's about 7 or 8 building. We're going to form an association. Haven't done it yet, but anyway, let's see what pops up. I was actually looking to do a comparison here. This is actually my Sparkcraft rig from Trekker. I've got a whole stack of photos of it. I wanted to find a spreader attachment to show you how the stainless steel bit comes out. Couldn't get it. This is the actual Selden rig. You can see the stain. It's got hoses on it. It's getting ready to wrap it up. This was the first prototype rig, and it's got shorter stainless steel stubs coming out that the actual extrusions go onto, and it made me realise I should probably do a photo gallery showing you the difference between the Selden rig and the Sparkcraft rig, which is nearly double the price, but we're still working on it. Haven't heard back yet, but we're on top of trying to sort the issues. This is just to let everyone know there won't be champagne at the end. After all the way around the world, we made a corporate decision. We discussed it yesterday with Jane and I, because I don't drink. Not that there's anything wrong with bubbly, but it could be some beers. You never know, and it could be shaking up a beer can. But we thought, what the hell? We did coconuts into Antigua for the first Transat, and I think we should do coconuts into Antigua for the first MGR. So anyway, the strange things you talk about. This just brought up the conversation. I've had a few people talking to me about how to ship their boats back. And obviously, there's a few different options. One is keel on, mast on the top of a 7-star ship as deck cargo with all the deck ones. It's the simplest. You just literally take I should have got some more pictures, but I was trying to take the boat alongside the ship, and they pick it up in the water. They just take you out of the water, put you on top of the ship, strap you down. When it comes back either into the UK or into France, you're just all waiting. It's all set up. They take you around in a rib, and they lower your boat back over the side. You get on while it's tied there, get your outboard, and just motor away. It's really simple. The other way is mast off, keel on, and you can go down inside the ship sometimes. And then the third one is mast off, keel off, put it in a container, which is the cheapest, but it's a lot more work that you'll end up doing both ends, to get them in and out and things like that. But anyway, they're the different options. And the last one, the final one, is sailing back, which is a bit of a challenge, and you can't really leave until about May to go back from Antigua to sail up around the top. So you've got to hang around and wait for a while, but that's fine and totally possible. I think a couple of boats, at least 2 of the boats, are sailing back. 2 of the 580s are sailing back to the UK. So that's kind of interesting as well. Anyway, a few people there now. So, the other one I was mentioning about this one to remind me that Etienne, was number 2, that now Jasmine's got, he's just about ready to launch his GGR boat. He's got a TRADEWIND 35. He's got the new rig up, got a few things done. It's due to hit the water any day. I just saw him put a post up yesterday. So, let's see how many people transition from the 580 into GGR or any of the other big events around the world, like the Vendée. That'd be funny. Anyway, all kind of cool. Right, so now you are on the tracker. I'll make sure I don't stuff this up. So then I'm on the tracker, and there we are. All green, all go, all making good time, having a great sail. Really pleasant conditions. Temperature's right. Sea state looks okay. Anyway, that's what it looks like to us. We're not on the water, and they might be saying different things. I think I've got a couple of Entrant reports, which I haven't read yet. So making good time. So Josh, happy to be away, running short of cash. So still got some expenses. Got to do the marina in Brazil, and then it's back to Antigua. So that's kind of fun. Planning the prize giving at the moment with Alison at the Sailing Academy. So if you're coming across, let us know. We're just working out how it's going to work. I think it's going to be quite big. They're going to extend it out onto the grass maybe as well, but we'll see. 4.7 knots for Josh, 81 nautical miles since he left, so that's pretty cool. Urton hanging on to the rear pack there, 4.7, 113 mile day, and the Jasmine just in front, 118 mile day, still faster than Urton, 5.4 knots. That's kind of cool. And then we've got Kerry trying to get ahead. He is 131 miles. He's definitely moving a lot faster. He's going to pass this lot, trying to pick up ground. And happy to see that. 4.7 for Eric, 120 miles. So right alongside in similar weather, obviously. Kerry's picked up 11 miles on that. So that means he's sailing at least half a knot faster than generally that group. Then coming into Christian. So Christian doing 5.7, 137 miles. Not too bad. Adam has got 129. So, yeah, he's hooting along. He's putting some pressure on there. Interestingly, Adam left with... anyway, I won't say anything. 5.6 knots for Adam, 129 mile day. And then there's the big one between Pilar and Jacob. So Pilar's done 138 miles, 5.9, and Jacob 5.8, 136. Sorry, I should have had this up bigger so you can see what's going on. They're side by side, and Pilar has actually pulled out of there. Pilar's 138, Jacob 136, neck and neck, 2 miles in it, and distance to the finish. This will give us a separation, 0.6 for Jacob, 7.9, 7.9, so 2 miles. Yeah, just under 2 miles difference there. Now, what's happening up front? Dan, the holiday man, 6.1, 145. They're keeping the pressure on. That's pretty good. And Renault, 138. Dan will be happy about that. 145, so 7 miles. That's quite a big chunk. 7 miles is quite good for one design boat to pick it out in one day. So that's pretty cool. And distance to the finish for Renault is 1,200 miles. So about 10 days. So yeah, end of the month. End of the month for the first, something like that, if you can keep that up. But I think it's going to go a bit softer. You just got a pip from Christian. Why don't you ring me, Christian, if you're watching this? You might be watching. We need someone to ring. I was going to put a schedule up, but I know they get busy and they don't want to talk about that. They've got sailing to do and doing their own stuff. Dan, 1,229. So Renault was 208. 208 versus 229, 21 miles behind him. So Dan's 21 miles behind. It's only 4 hours. Jeepers. Someone makes a mistake, and you can see how the game can change really quickly. If they're both not making mistakes, it's really hard. You pick up, half a knot a day would be huge. That's 12 miles. So, It's quite challenging because all the boats are basically the same. We should have been pegging on. In fact, I'm just going to do it because I just want to see. He's got about 10 days. He's not going to make the distance, but I want to. I know Kerry would much rather prefer to be up the front. So let's just see how much he's pegging back. Well, in fact, we can do it two ways. Renault's on 138 miles, and I think Kerry was 41. Kerry was on 41, no, 31, and Renault's 38. He's still pulling away. Ooh, jeepers, that answers that question. Anyway, he's about 318 miles behind at the moment. So it's just under 3 days. So, yeah. And I can't see anyone making mistakes, so that's pretty straightforward. Let's have a look at just confirm the weather again for the next 2 days. See a softening at the back here compared to the front a little bit. Hard to define it. Here we go. So picking along every 3 hours, still looks pretty good. Josh is going to miss out a bit. Yeah, it's getting a bit skinny at the back. That's after 1 day. Day and a bit. Here we go for 2 days. Yeah, there's some soft spots around them at the back, and when you see these blue bits, that's not likely to be the real position. It sort of might be, but they could be anywhere. So it's showing some inconsistency pretty much across the board. Maybe a little bit of an advantage for the guys in the front, but very hard to pick. So not a lot we can do there. The leaderboard doesn't do much, although it is accurate now because you can see they're all line abreast. That's where they're sitting. It's pretty easy to work out what's happening. This is their relative positions from Cape Town, although I haven't checked on Jasmine's time. I might have to give her a bit of time to see how she took off if it was over 7 days. I think it was 7 days and a few hours or something. But anyway, we can look at that when we get around to it. Currents, sea state. Sea state will be all blue. Yep. Not much to talk about there. Current should be generally not headwinds. Oh, they're picking up a bit at the front. That's interesting. Okay, so they're going to run into a band of current there. Let's see what happens over 1 day later. Dying off. Yeah. 2 days later, died off a lot. So there's a bit there at the moment, but it's going to disappear. Clouds, just to see if they get the tan. Oh, it's coming up behind. That might mean some rain and bits and pieces, obviously. Let's see if it's got any blue there. Yeah, no, it's nothing. Okay. We ran out of things to talk about when it's trade winds. Compared to what we had going around Cape Town, I think we've done everything there. Let me see here. Antarctica. Why are you called Antarctica while I'm doing this? Because Antarctica is on my mind at the moment. But give me a comment. How come you in Antarctica while I read the thing? Okay, here we go. You saw Eric's thingo. Josh gave me one. I've already read that. It came in the afternoon. That must be the day before. So yesterday it was just a video update from Eric, which we ran. Then Christian, which came in today. Christian, 3 days out of St. Helena, we are making good progress towards Recife. Yesterday, and all silence crossed 8 degrees 39 west, the longitude of Lagos in Portugal. So he's happy with that. So we have officially crossed all 360 meridians on this journey. You got, oh, that's my eyes. I thought it was AI the best, but it's all the best. Okay, Jake. Here we go. I haven't read any of these. Third day from sailing out from Cosi, Helena. It's meant to be St. Helena. Slowly getting my sea legs back. It's bleed windy. That must be bloody windy. With confusing sea, but gets better as we progress towards Recife. Couldn't buy much veggies nor fruits in Jamestown, and only got 12 eggs, 6 tomatoes, 1 cucumber, and a few onions. So it might be a bit of a struggle with the diet. That's interesting, eh? You've got to wonder how the locals get on. Maybe they stock up big time when the ship comes in. And I have to catch some fish. Other than sailing in the tropics, other than that, sailing in the tropics is what I like. Absolutely. Interesting about the locals because they have a supply ship. I think it goes back and forwards every 2 weeks. So they probably just buy it all and keep it in-house. So there's not a lot in the shop. Anyway, Entrant, oh, come on, Entrant. Tracker is happy travelling towards Recife. Whoop, whoop. Jeepers. Don't forget, you still want one dimension, Entrant, if you're watching this. The backrest. You can't finish it. Distance from the hull. Is then from Adam, is this the longest race in the world? I can't think of any other sport where you would race more than once around the world. Must be the longest by distance and time. It certainly feels like it. Yeah, it's interesting. We haven't done a lot of the comparative statistics, but this is a race. It is around the world. It's we tag on all the time the idea of the qualifier, which is another 3,500 or something, but it's about 24,000 miles. But you look at the Clipper race, that's going up to China and dupping around and blah blah blah. So that would probably be longer. It's faster maybe because of the boats, but I don't know. We'll have to have a look at that. It's interesting, worth looking at. I was thinking about, did I ever mention Yanis's list of small boat voyages he did? He's keeping a record now. I'd spent 3 or 4 hours working on one the other day when I did that post, and then he thought, probably got sick of waiting, so he's done one, which is fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, go to Yanis's website, Yanis Madursky, and have a look. It's really cool. Because that's got a lot of the records and stuff. Because we, on that conversation having with Adam, their team were thinking, if there's any world first going on with the race. Certainly, it's the first time we've run this race, so that's historic in its own right. But I haven't even had a chance to think of angles or whatever. But I know they are. Okay, from Christian, I was thinking about that too. Is this the longest race? Oh, okay. So this is a response from Christian to Adam's statement about is this the longest race in the world? And so Christian's comment to Adam, which I just read you, is I was thinking about that too. Might be the longest sporting event in history. We've been saying that the distance difference there is you've got stopovers. We make the claim for the Golden Globe race that it is one of the longest, cruelest, horrible events in the world because it's so horrible, so tough. But anyway, we'll have to have a look at that. I think people are talking about it. Okay, thanks for those reports. No one likes us. No one wants to ring in for a video call. Jeepers. So there you go. Milady, hi. Antarctica, good morning. Good morning. I wanted to ask, what are the alternatives to a main sheet traveller on the 580? Whatever you want. You can do anything you want. It seems that the traveller takes too much space inside the cockpit. What is your experience? Traveller doesn't get in the way at all. Where I set mine up on Trekkie, it's beautiful. You can still lay in the cockpit. The human dynamics of the cockpit's perfect. I slept in the cockpit often while I was sailing and stuff because it's not by your hip bone and you don't even notice it. And my traveller was actually on the seat. It wasn't recessed into the seat. It was on the seat. So the support bar going across between the seats was recessed. It was just an aluminium beam, I think I put in there to support the track. Oh, maybe I didn't put anything. I just let it go with the track. Yeah, I think I just used the I-beam track. But you can have two separate pulley systems, on the gunnels on the side there or whatever it is. So whatever you want. And what I would say, if you're just going to do the round the world or even the Transat, you can quite comfortably sail and position the mainsail really well with two main sheet systems if you want to get out of the way. But if you're racing around the buoys in a club environment and you wanted to perform as best as possible, have your boat stripped out and leave the upholstery behind and get it as light as you can, all that sort of stuff, I think a traveller would be more relevant, but it's up to you. It's really everyone's got a different take on it, same with the GGR. G'day, LC. Do I ever pronounce that right? I suppose I do. 5:40, you're up early. It's like me. I started on Facebook this morning at 6:15. Antarctica. Also, would it be possible to do the circuit navigation under South America, Africa, Australia in the 580? Everything is possible. Would I do it? Probably not, because the 580 is good and it's able to survive extreme conditions. There's no question, because I had one experience in a windstorm on the top end of head down to Lanzarote. It wasn't a survival situation. It was just very windy. where the boat was laid over. Only went for an hour, a couple of hours, an hour or so or something. And it was reminiscent of experiences I've had in Antarctica with the boat laying flat and all this sort of stuff. And it was a beautiful blue sky day, big wind. There was a cruise ship on the distance. And I thought, wow, this is the best lifeboat you could ever have. Why do we need a life raft? Because the boat is inherently survivable as a hull. There was another chap, really cool guy, took off in a Setka A to try and do a solo non-stop round the world in a Setka A, which is a 5-metre boat, carrying all sorts of powder for food and all sorts of things. Great guy, really solid adventurer. He didn't make it, unfortunately, because the boat broke, and that's the big issue. Anyway, that's a big issue to try and get around through the Southern Ocean. What will happen with the 580 is it'll get knocked down, rolled over, pitch poled, all this sort of stuff. It'll survive, and if you're strong enough and not beat up too much, you will still be alive. But the gear can't handle it. The self-steering gear wouldn't handle it. All those, pitch poles and blah, 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 and the rig wouldn't survive. The rig would fall over and all that sort of stuff. So you get caught in one big monster storm. You will survive. The hull will survive, but will the hardware? I doubt it. So I wouldn't be inclined to take the boat around. Now, I've got to be careful what I say, because I won't call him a hero, but I remember reading a story long time ago about Hore Iki, the Japanese guy. And this was something that always stuck in my head as well for the 580. He had a 20-foot plywood boat that he built. It was a yawl rig, and he sailed that around the world via Cape Horn. This is cheap as I got Nobby Clark's book in 1984, I think it was 84. So he must have done that in 70. He's actually Hore Kenichi is on Giannis's list. You'll see a Japanese guy. You Google it, you'll see pictures of his boat. He went around Cape Horn, and I thought, holy shit, because I hadn't been around Cape Horn in '84. So is it something that I do? I would recommend it, because it's not what the 580 was done for. Yes, around Cape Town, Cape Good Hope and all that sort of stuff. South Africa, that's okay, because you're stopping off. You're working the weather, and the forecasting is good and all that, and it worked, touch wood. So I hope that answers your question. You could do it. Anyway, conversation for people to think about later on. Certainly, you could sail down through the Atlantic and go underneath underneath South Africa, and then across the Indian Ocean and probably under Australia. You wouldn't go down south. You'd stay up in the 40s. You'd go higher, and you'd have to buck the trade winds. Get under Australia. You could go under Australia. So there's some epic voyages that you could do in a 580 for sure, but I won't go into it. I could talk for a long time. Anyway, but actually I know someone living in the same street as I that went to Antarctica with a group that built their steel yacht themselves over 15 years. I've been to Antarctica 21 seasons, Antarctica, sailing down, flying down ships, this, that, and other. You can do anything and anything if you really want to. And there is a friend of mine's down there right now. In fact, I got a message from him yesterday afternoon, Stan Montgomery, who is 8 hours from Cape Adair, so he should be at Cape Adair now. And we've been chatting about this. He's got a normal, good, solid steel motor sailor down there. People very rarely go down into the Ross Sea by yacht, but plenty of people that I know have, or quite a few people I know have. We did a lot of trips into Commonwealth Bay, which is East Antarctica. A lot of boats go down to the Antarctic Peninsula, but that's like the Caribbean of the Antarctic. It's not easy, but it's a lot easier than going down where we used to hang out in East Antarctica. That's where it's real. Water temperature goes down to freezing, icebergs, everything. It's the real Antarctica, where all the Scott and Shackleton and all that sort of, all the boys are down there. The peninsula, jeepers, water temperature sometimes doesn't get colder than about 5 degrees or something. And there's grass growing down there now, which is another sad story. But the peninsula is beautiful. I've done a couple of trips there. But, Antarctica is a special place. It's stunning. So if you get a chance to sail down there, go there. Okay, I digress here. Crazy story. I haven't heard all of it, but he'll invite me soon and shows the pictures. They once almost lost their propeller in a storm in Drake Passage and had to retreat back to yeah. It's plenty tough. Drake Passage is a horror show, but very attractive. And Data go, no, and love the story of Kenichihara. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, that's about it. I haven't got anything else to say, so we'll see you tomorrow. More trade wind sailing, and have a good day. Please remember, I'm going to really push this now. Like, share. Thanks for following. Make sure you tell all your friends, and subscribe to what's going on. Thanks. See you later.